Hey everyone, it's Jonathan, and welcome to the season finale of the Disney Movie Marathon. This is the big one, and it's one I've been waiting to get to for a while. I wanted to get to it before the end of 2025, and I didn't quite make it, but I did get it recorded before the end of the year, so that has to count for something, right? Today I'm joined once more by Stanford Clark and Mark Brown. They are just as big of Disney fans as I am, and they've joined me for some of my biggest episodes, so who better than them to join me for this, not just the final film of the Silver Age, but also the final animated film from Walt Disney himself. Yes, I know we've got Winnie the Pooh on its way, but that didn't become an actual film until many years later, so for all intents and purposes, this was his last. Anyway, we will hopefully get to Winnie the Pooh soon enough, but until then, let's cap off the Silver Age, the era of Walt Disney, and the fourth season of the Disney Movie Marathon, talking about Walt Disney's The Jungle Book with Stanford and Mark. Well, I guess to start, we should talk about when we first saw this. For me, this may have been the very first movie or Disney movie, if not the first movie I ever watched. It's the first one I remember watching.
Hmm.
I believe, I have no idea what age I was, but I know I was very young. This was before we had a VCR. I think we borrowed the tape from the library and then went over to watch with my cousins. Sarah probably was a baby at that time because I don't really remember who all was there other than Shayna, who's the oldest, and Sarah's the youngest. So she was probably a baby. So she wouldn't even remember this, I'm sure. But I remember going over to their house and watching with them. Yeah, that's the first movie I remember like checking out from the library. And yeah, we didn't even have a VCR. It was so long ago. Like early 90s. So like there were VCRs, but we didn't have one.
I don't remember the first time I saw it either. What I do remember is that we had an album of, an LP of the soundtrack. And I think I had that on repeat. In fact, word from my older siblings is that they got sick to death of it because that's what I always wanted to listen to.
I might have had the soundtrack on cassette also, because I
Oh,
remember
nice.
listening to the soundtrack a lot. Because I don't think it was one of those compilation albums, because I also had the compilation albums that a friend made me. Like, she put in the CD and then hit record on the cassette to make me a copy. So I had those compilation albums, but I think I had the Jungle Book separate from those, because all of the songs were very familiar to me, so I'm sure I listened to them all a lot more than just the handful that were on the compilation albums.
I don't know what the age group of like your main listeners are, but like some of them, if they're young, hearing the word cassette and VHS and LP, they're gonna go be Googling a lot of
You have to
stuff.
look it up, right? Now, I did a little research on this myself, just again trying to remember the first time I saw it. So, you guys know I'm old. I'll just say I'm old.
You're just
Back
older
at
than us. That's all.
okay, that's kind of you. I guess that's
I'm the
both, right?
youngest one here, which is weird because usually I'm never the youngest one in a group.
And so back in the day, as you know, pre-VHS, really, Disney used to re-release their animated features in theaters. And so,
That was the way to see them, yeah.
and I think that they were basically like every 7 years, I think was kind of the pattern. I mean, there were probably exceptions. So I looked up the Jungle Book, and so it was released in 1967, um, and then it was re-released theatrically in 1978, 1984, and 1990. So I'm wondering if really the first time I saw it actually was like 1978, even though I felt like I've seen it my whole life, probably just because I listened to the record. Also, too, we used to have these things again on a record player, but they were small. I think it was a 45, what would be called, so a smaller size of an LP, and it accompanied a storybook. And so
Okay,
and so
okay.
it had, the storybook had pictures, and then on the record, you'd play the record, and it'd be reading it to you, and then it would Tinkerbell's. They have these little chimes to be Tinkerbell telling you to turn the page.
Mm.
I don't know if you had any of those equivalent on cassette or if those ring a bell. Again,
I
I know
remember
I'm
borrowing those from the library. They
I'm the
had a cassette with
grandpa.
a book.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
Okay.
used to have those, yeah. They still have them, probably.
So I'm sure I know for sure we had one of those with the Jungle Book because we had most of the Disney canon of the time. You know, I
Hmm.
think my two favorite were The Jungle Book and Peter Pan. Again, probably I didn't see it till 1978, that re-release in the theater, but I felt like it's always just been a part of my life.
My story is similar to Jonathan's. That the first time I remember seeing this is I remember going to the library to get it, and I borrowed it on VHS. The only difference with me and Jonathan is that I saw this maybe in the later 90s because I remember Jungle Book was a Disney film I'd always wanted to watch, but I never had access to because like my library system for some reason never had it, or if they had it, it was always borrowed. So every time I would go, I'd always be looking for it. And then I distinctly remember going one day, like, oh, the Jungle Book, it's here. I gotta borrow it. And I borrowed it, and I liked it. And I think back then we used to like tape. People won't know what that is, but like tape VHS tapes on your own personal
Yes,
tapes. Yeah.
exactly.
And so I think I did that for the Jungle Books. Then I had a copy of mine to keep for because I was gonna buy it, but
Excellent.
yeah. So that's my story. So it's similar to Jonathan's, but a little different as well.
You were a pirate and didn't know it. I
I
did the same things with
I
CDs from the library.
I didn't sell it. That's the thing. I never sold it. It was for personal use only. So
Uh-huh.
the piracy laws don't count.
I think if I had known that was possible, I probably would have done it because I did know that it was possible to do that with a CD and a cassette. So I remember making copies of CDs.
Oh, yeah.
Oh
So
yeah,
yeah,
for
you definitely
sure.
could do it with VHS tapes. That's how I had the Lion King like that, and I had
Oh,
like the Tom and Jerry the movie and the Lion King. I think on the same VHS tape.
outstanding.
Robin Hood, I had like that as well. Like, yeah, those were the days.
See, yeah, good stuff.
Well, have you guys read the book that this was based on? I might have when I was really young, but I vaguely remember maybe borrowing it from the library, but I don't really remember it. So if I did read it, I didn't retain it.
I also was young, but I didn't read it, but in just fun fact, I borrowed an audiobook of it, and to date, it's the only audiobook I've ever listened to because after while listening to it, like I realized I didn't enjoy this concept of audiobooks, so I never listened to one again. I wanted to read it, but
One and done.
one and done. And this is back when audiobooks was on cassette tapes before
Yeah.
anything else. So there were like multiple tapes, I think, to go through the whole book. And again, I also don't remember a lot of it because it's like a multiple stories together. It's not
Yeah.
really what Disney did in trying to make it like one coherent narrative is different than what Rudyard Kipling's books actually is. But I don't remember disliking the book itself. I think it was more I disliked the experience of listening to it on an audiobook.
Yeah.
Mm.
I think I have read parts of it. I was an English major in college, and
Nice.
I believe that in one of my classes we read some Rudyard Kipling, and I think we read some parts of the Jungle Book in addition to some of his other works. But I don't recall like reading the whole thing. And I think I just remember too, just being told that the Disney movie, to call it loosely based is generous. I think it's just like,
It's the same title.
yeah.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
Maybe a character or two, right, with the same names. But then it's very different.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that Mowgli stays in the jungle, that he doesn't have to go and leave to go live with
He
the
doesn't go to the
other
man village.
humans. Yes. Yeah, so it's very different. I'm not even sure that King Louie is a thing in the book. I think they
No,
made
no,
him up
King
for.
Kulu was made up for the
Yeah,
movie.
yeah. At some point, I need to read the book because
Yeah.
I would like to do this for every version ever,
Well, yeah,
and
there's a
I'm
few.
going to be trying to read more of the books in the future for every version ever. So at some point, I need to read it, and I probably will do audiobooks. I've been getting into more audiobooks
Okay, maybe you'll
lately.
like it.
Though audiobooks, I found it's easier for me to make time
Yeah, I've
for.
heard that from
That's
people.
the
Yeah.
thing, is just the time, Yeah.
But I think also what I heard is like a lot of modern audiobooks are like they actually done pretty well. Like they're like
Uh-huh.
full cast. They're pretty much like radio dramas and stuff.
Some are, yeah.
Some are, yeah.
Even if they aren't though, I enjoy them.
Mhm.
And like I listen to a lot of podcasts, so I just need to replace the podcast with the
Podcast
audiobook.
with an audiobook, yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? I don't know, honestly, I truly don't know a lot about the history of how Walt Disney and or his team decided to make this into an animated film and how many iterations they went through, or what was the story process like, or
Well,
I've maybe
I
heard
know
some
that
anecdotes, but I
yeah.
don't really know.
I know that it had at least two completely different versions because I, this will probably be the last time we bring him up, but Bill Pete, the
Yeah.
the Disney
Yeah.
artist who became a
Who
children's book
became your author?
author.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
after he left Disney. This is the movie where he left Disney
Okay.
because he proposed doing the Jungle Book and he did the whole treatment. Like they got so far as to writing songs and then they ended up scrapping the whole thing and starting over basically. Like the bare necessities, I think, is about the only thing that survived from his original treatment.
Yeah,
Because,
all the other songs were gone. Terry Gilkyson is the one who wrote that song.
yeah,
Yes.
they had a whole soundtrack apparently done, and the bare necessity is the only one that they kept, and they started over.
If you have the 2 disc platinum edition DVD of Jungle Book in the bonus features, they have like all the old songs from the first version there to listen to,
Oh,
and it's pretty
interesting.
interesting. Like I think they're actually pretty good songs. But I think even on YouTube you could probably check and then you can find the demos there.
Hmm.
But
Yeah,
it
I don't
definitely has
remember
a more
watching those.
it definitely has
Okay.
a darker it was more dark like how the book was,
Hmm.
so it had a darker tone and Disney didn't want to go that route.
Yeah, that's the reason that they started over because Disney wanted it to be more fun, and the original treatment was not fun enough. I think the original treatment, I think, was they were basing it more on how they did Bambi, which Bambi is not necessarily a fun movie.
No, it's
No.
yes. Serious, very serious film, yeah.
I don't know if Disney had even initially told him how to do it. I just know that once the first treatment was like written, not like they didn't, I don't think they had any animation done, but like once the first treatment was finished, like to present to Disney, is when
And they
they
were
were
just
like,
storyboards at most.
yeah. Which is it normal to do songs before you even like it seems odd that it got so far as to have songs fully completed before I don't know. Like I don't
No,
know.
I think songs get made pretty early on in the film process, especially when they have an idea where they're putting songs and once they have an idea of a script.
Did the same composer that wrote the Bare Necessities, did he write these other songs too before they brought Sherman Brothers in, or were the Sherman Brothers
No.
involved? Do we know?
He wrote Terry Gilliam wrote all the other songs that weren't
Okay,
that they scrapped.
that they scrapped. Interesting.
So
Okay.
then when Disney brought the Sherman Brothers, one thing, if I remember correctly, he told them is like, here, he told them about Jungle Book's like, don't read the book.
Hmm.
Yeah, okay. I think I've heard that story
Mhm.
too. I've heard that story too, Mark.
So it's another example. So like, see, like they were on board like even early before like the film has even gotten like super far. So and they wrote the rest of the songs in the film.
Yeah, because I think he had been working on it for over a year, and that's about the point where he left.
He just quit. Yeah.
Because there was like an anecdote online, like on Wikipedia, about they had an argument, and I think he said that he basically felt very insulted by what Disney said because he said something about he needed to watch Mary Poppins for real entertainment. And he later would say that he's glad he didn't insult Disney back, especially because Disney died not long after that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Disney
Yeah.
died before the movie wasn't even released.
Yeah, it was about a
Yeah.
year, wasn't it, before the movie was released? And
Yeah, he died in December '66, and this came out in '67.
isn't it really? I mean, I think the Jungle Book is touted as really the last movie that Walt Disney was directly involved with, even though I mean clearly there was some stuff like was either in the pipeline, right? Or
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah, you
getting.
could probably argue that Winnie the Pooh was the very last one since it was kind of strung together out of shorts.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
like the Aristocats, he did work on some, but I think they changed it considerably
considerably.
from what he had worked on.
And I think the Rescuers was also pretty like he had
Yeah,
some finger in the pie at least
Oh,
before he
interesting.
had died.
Okay.
but it changed a
That
lot.
changed dramatically too.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Jungle Book is these first 19 Disney canon films are pretty much like where we Walt was directly involved in, if you're not counting those
Hmm.
stragglers that we mentioned.
Yeah. Anything past this, he either didn't work on it as a feature, like with
Mm.
Winnie the Pooh, it was shorts that he worked on, or whatever he did was just the very basic beginnings
Yeah.
of
Hmm.
what became something else.
Very true.
I guess too, it made again, maybe I've just kind of made this up in my mind, but it seems to me that in a way though, that makes the Jungle Book kind of extra special too. And that it's really the last movie that Walt
Yeah,
Disney
it's like a swan song, I guess.
kind of
Yeah,
touched, you know. Yeah.
that's kind of how I feel about it too. Even though you do have his fingerprints on things that are still to come, this is
Yes.
like the
Yeah.
last one that he was like directly involved for most of the way through the movie.
And like this is the movie that we're talking about for him in terms of animation, but it's also like in terms of live action, The Happiest Millionaire
Happiest Millionaire. I was
was
thinking of
pretty
that
much
too,
the Jungle
Mark.
Book of the live action one. It was like the last live action Disney film that he also was heavily involved in and also was released after he had died. So
Yeah.
like these
Hmm.
two are like from both different mediums are like pretty special.
I still haven't seen The Happiest Millionaire.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, that's been on my list for ages that I need to watch.
Was The Happiest Millionaire, it was released in 1967, right? Was it released
Yeah,
before
so
the
it's the
Jungle?
same.
Was it released before the Jungle Book? Did it come around the same time? Was it like kind of near like end of the year?
Let's see what Wikipedia says. Because they're both the same year, but let's see. So Jungle Book was released October 18th, and The Happiest Millionaire was released. The Hollywood preview was June 23rd, but the
Oh
Radio City
wow,
Music
okay.
Hall
So
was November 30th.
so interesting.
So it's technically Happiest Millionaire, but like for the general public, probably Jungle Book was first.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
Fortuosity. That's me byword. That's what I usually
A
have now.
twinkle in the eye word.
It's funny. I will recognize some of the music because a bunch of those were on the compilation soundtracks that I had copies of.
Oh
Mhm.
yeah.
So I'm familiar with a bunch of the music from The Happiest Millionaire. I just
Yeah.
at the time I probably didn't even know what it was from. I think it probably was on the album art, like on the cover, but I didn't have the cover because it was just a copy that someone made for me of on the cassette.
Yeah.
So I knew the songs, but I didn't know the movie.
But it was one of the Sherman brothers. Like it's their good work, so like it makes sense to be remembered.
And it's so interesting to think too. Again, of course, as a little kid, I didn't really process this, but that both of those films were released quite close together, relatively speaking, right? That both after Walt Disney died, but both in 1967.
Yeah.
Peak Sherman Brothers,
Each Sherman
right?
brothers. Yeah, after he died, the company didn't really keep them on much long after that,
Yeah,
sadly.
Yeah, that's too bad because they're great.
After Walt Disney, they're my favorite people in the Disney
in
universe.
the Disney, yeah, they're really something. Wow. I was remembering too the Sherman Brothers, if I'm not mistaken, then they write the music to The Slipper and the Rose,
Yes,
Yes.
which was
Jonathan and
kind
I
of
did
mid
that one. Yeah.
70s. Oh, you did that one. And then
Hmm.
when did Chitty Chitty Bang Bang come out? Clear that.
68.
Okay, so that was
Jonathan,
like
I have that. That's on our list sometime.
that was probably right. I mean, clearly right after The Happiest Millionaire, right? I mean, the year
Yeah,
after.
because
Hmm.
the Broccoli family got them for that film, and
Oh yeah, the
they worked on
Broccoli
that.
family.
Mhm.
Okay. I think that I probably fell into this trap. I think a lot of people think that the Sherman brothers wrote the Bare Necessities.
Yeah, a lot of people did because they wrote everything else, and the Brandon Sisters is arguably the best song, yeah, of the in the film,
It's really a
arguably.
it's really a great song, isn't it?
It's
Yeah.
probably technically the best song, but I think my favorite is I Want to Be Like You.
I know. See, that's how I am too, John. I guess I love them both, but I want to be like you.
I think that's also my favorite as well. But when I was
Yeah.
young, I used to love the Colonel Hattie's March.
Oh, I
That was
like
always
that
a
one
fun song to
too.
me.
Yeah, like all the songs are so memorable. Watching it last night, I was just like every song I could almost sing with the movie because they're just, even though I don't know that I watched the movie a ton, listening to the soundtrack a lot drills the music into your head. So it's so memorable.
The only song I really don't like is Trust in Me. That's the only one that I kind of fast forward when I get to it.
It
But
is a bit
everything else,
slow.
I like.
Well, and it's so creepy, you know. Mowgli's about to be, cause dinner, and
It's more just boring to me. But yeah,
I do like his voice though. Sterling Holloway is so great as
Sterling
Ka.
Holloway is
he's a master
so
of it.
so great.
Yeah. Anything he's in, he just elevates it. He's such a great voice actor.
That's not even like that's his voice.
It is. Like
Yeah,
I guess I could just say he's a good voice actor or a good actor because it
actor.
is
Yeah.
just his voice.
Mhm.
But I don't know. There's something about his voice is just perfect for animated characters, whether good or evil.
Yeah, because he runs the gamut. He goes from like Winnie the Pooh to Khan, the Cheshire Cat.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Winnie the Pooh is sweet and normal. Ka is evil and Cheshire Cat is somewhere in between.
He's what do they call it? Chaotic? Is that what they call it?
I think I've heard
Yeah.
someone call him a chaos demon before.
Yeah, that's pretty much him.
That's awesome.
There's a lot of great voice talent in this film because, like, you could argue. I mean, you could make the argument this is one of an early example of a Disney film where they got quote unquote celebrities because a lot of these
Yeah.
people were like really
Uh-huh.
big names.
Famous, right?
I mean, Phil Harris was pretty popular, known on the Jack Benny show and whatnot. You have George
Louis,
Sanders, uh,
yeah,
Hollywood actor Louis Prima, like you said,
Louis Prima.
like Louis Prima is like getting like I don't know who's the equivalent of Louis Prima now to say, hey, you want to come do an animated film and lend a voice, like some big mainstream musician. I mean, now it's not so hard to think of that happens all the time, but like back then it was like,
Hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't the first time. Like technically, Lady and the Tramp and
Yes.
Pinocchio and stuff. You could argue that as well, but like this was like a really big production.
It's interesting though, all of the people who I guess were like so famous for other things, I almost feel like this is what they're famous for now. Because like Phil Harris as Baloo, like this is where I know Phil Harris from. Yes, he's
No,
in the Aristocats too,
you're right.
but like he is Baloo.
And
There's also
Robin
Little
Hood.
John, but
Yeah, Little John.
Yeah,
when I
who
was
is
a
Baloo,
kid,
pretty much.
when I was a kid, and I didn't know how things really worked. I almost felt like Little John was just Baloo playing a character.
Yeah,
Baloo
I
just showing
Baloo.
up in another movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the reuse animation too, so like it totally makes sense.
Hmm.
Yeah, true.
But no, you're right, Jonathan. Like this is like their iconic roles for so many of them.
Hmm.
Well, and Sebastian Cabot too,
Even like George Sebastian Cabot. I love his voice so much.
I do too. I do too.
And Verna Felton, can't forget her.
Verna Felton,
Even George Sanders was in.
George Sanders, because for me, my first really exposure to George Sanders was The Jungle Book. And then to realize that he was in a lot of classic movies, which I love too. I was like, oh my goodness.
What else is he in?
Well, one of my favorite films that he's in is All About Eve, which is a Betty Davis film, and he plays a bad guy. If you've never seen that one, but he's also in The Picture of Dorian Gray, which is a 1945, Rebecca,
Mm.
which is an Alfred Hitchcock from 1940. He was just a really great character actor. I mean, I'm looking up on IMDb. He's got 138 acting credits, and he did a lot of TV work too, which I didn't realize kind of, in the kind of like after Jungle Book. That's what it looked like. So anyway, great. It's just a really great character actor and often the bad guy, and so I think getting him to be the voice of Shere Khan was genius.
He has a great voice for this part.
I think the live action films I know him best from are The Ghost and Mrs. Muir,
Oh
and
yeah.
he acted in a Disney film, In Search of the Castaways.
Yeah, in Search of the Castaways. I'm glad you brought that up too, Mark. Yeah.
But yeah, Shere Khan is my favorite Disney villain. Like I love Shere Khan.
Oh,
He's my
he's
number one favorite Disney
such a
villain.
great
I
villain.
love how suave he is, and he just knows that yes, I am the most evil thing that you should be afraid of.
Yeah.
I like that.
And that's kind of the character that he plays in some of these films. This, so I just think he get great casting to have him do that.
And he has a voice that's perfect for it too.
Yes. The part where he interrupts the Vulture's song, that's my favorite part with him. Just his voice joining their song to finish it out.
Well,
I
that's not
love his
him.
voice.
That's Thurl Ravenscroft doing his voice of that.
Oh,
really?
is it Thurl Ravenscroft?
Yeah.
Well, that's great
Okay.
too. He also
Yeah.
has a great deep voice.
Oh my
Mhm.
goodness, does he ever?
And Sebastian Cabot's also a voice I really love to hear, and I love Bagheera as well. He's like one of my favorite Disney characters of all time too.
Oh, I love Bagheera too.
Yeah.
I used to have like a toy Bagheera like statue thing, and like his tail would turn, and when it turns, like there's a compartment opens up underneath his feet. You could put stuff inside.
Oh, cool.
I don't think I had any toys from this movie, but I had a puzzle. I don't think I've seen something like this since I was a kid. Maybe they exist, but I had like a giant 300-piece floor puzzle that was like bigger than me. Like it
Oh,
took up like half the kitchen to put it together.
Whoa.
It was like the poster for the Jungle Book.
wow.
Oh, I love that.
I'll have to see if I can find that poster and use it for the artwork when I'm putting
Oh, how
this
cool.
episode together.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
I should say too, talking Verna Felton, one of my favorite facts about her is that her first role with Disney was an elephant in Dumbo, and her last role with Disney was an elephant in the Jungle Book.
In the Jungle Book. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's sad because she also died. She died a day before Disney died. She died December 14th, 1966, and Walt died the 15th.
Interesting.
So this was both of their last films.
She has such a great voice. Anything she does. She's also
Agreed.
good at running the gamut between good and evil characters.
Queen of Hearts, like that was amazing.
Uh-huh.
And even we have Ben Wright, who plays one of the he has a small role as one of the wolves, and he would later do. I mean, he previously did Roger in 101 Dalmatians, and then he would do Grimsby in Little Mermaid.
In
his
Little
last film.
Mermaid.
Just a fun anecdote I like. It's like when he was recording for Little Mermaid, like they were, telling him, how to do it, and like telling him like what he has to do and whatnot, and they didn't know that he had already done 2 Disney voice roles already.
Oh, that's cool.
It was a big gap.
It was a big gap, true.
Yeah, that is a big gap, but it's kind of a cool continuity thing, kind of a great Disney fan thing.
Yeah.
Well, and is it Clint Howard, so Ron Howard's brother? Isn't he
yeah.
the voice of the little elephant?
Mm-hmm. He is.
I did not realize that was Ron Howard's brother.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
Clint,
that's Ron
Clint
Howard's
Howard
brother,
is
yes.
Ron Howard's brother. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
They wrote a book together like a few years ago called The Boys, like about their autobiography, but they wrote it like together. So it's a very interesting read, like if you're into like their film history and just their history and in Hollywood and stuff. Like I recommend it.
Yeah, because since their dad was an actor, right? And then they
The
both
dad, yeah.
did tons of stuff as kids.
hmm
And doesn't Ron Howard typically cast Clint in some kind of, kind of a
Yeah,
role
a
in
lot
most
of
of
his
most of
films,
his films? Yeah.
Mhm.
I don't think I knew that. I'm not even sure I knew he had a brother because I mainly just know Ron and his daughter Bryce.
Oh yeah, Bryce. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay. No, Clint is the brother, and then they had a father, Rance, who was also like a character
A
actor.
character actor. Yeah.
Huh. Interesting.
family.
I suppose he's probably been in things that I've seen.
Oh, I'm sure. And I bet
I'm
you if you
sure.
saw his face, John, you would recognize him. Yeah, he's
Yeah,
very
he's
distinct,
the-
very
It's a
distinctive
distinct
looking.
face. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, who knows how I
They
can't
did a
remember how
Disney
old.
film called The Wild Country. Sorry, I didn't mean to
Oh,
cut you
no,
off. They
no,
did a
that's
Disney
good.
film called The Wild Country where Braun and Clint played brothers together in that. It's a pretty good Disney film actually, but it's not very like popular or like a lot of people haven't seen it.
Kind of early 70s, wasn't it, Mark?
Yeah, I think it was
Late
1970
60s or
itself.
nice. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. I think I've seen it, but I
And the
forgot that the brothers were in it. That's
yeah, in the
great.
autobiography, Ron talks about like how it's a film he's really proud of, but like very few people have seen
I've
it.
seen it.
Hmm.
I'm just looking at his filmography. He also was Roo in Winnie the Pooh.
Oh,
Yeah, he
that's
was Roo. Yeah,
right. Oh, I'm glad you reminded me of that. Okay. Yeah.
I don't know how I missed this fact.
you're welcome, Jonathan. Where'd you be without Stanford?
He apparently was in How the Grinch Stole Christmas as a character named Hubris. I don't
Sounds
remember a
horrific.
character named Hubris, but he was probably like a cameo.
Yeah, but cameo, yeah. A lot of
Yeah.
his films, he has like cameos in.
Just cameos. Yeah. There's typically just really short, but yeah.
Did you watch the Andy Griffith Show, Jonathan?
I didn't watch it as much as like Sarah and her family, but I did watch it sometimes when I'd go over to their house.
If you ever saw like a young kid who was named Leon was always eating a sandwich, that was Clint Howard. He never talked or anything, but he always had a sandwich and like a messed up mouth, and it would always offer his sandwich to like Barney to like hey, do you want a bite? And they're like, no, thanks, Leon.
I don't remember
Because Ron
that,
Howard was in that
but
too.
that's hilarious. If I had seen it, that feels
Yeah.
like something I would remember.
It wasn't often. Like I don't, he probably maybe did like 5 or 6 episodes, so it's not. It wasn't often. But if you remember that, that
That's
was him.
great though.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, too, it's Bruce Reitherman who's the voice of Mowgli, and isn't he the son of Wooly Reitherman?
Wooly
Yes.
Reitherman. Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
he was also one of the voices of Arthur, if I'm not mistaken, as Sword in the Stone.
Oh,
Right? 'Cause
yeah, in the Sword
I
and
know,
Stone.
I know he had a
One of the
couple of his
dozens
sons,
of
but one of the
Arthurs.
dozens. Yeah, that guy sure changes voices a lot.
Yeah, but as a kid, I had no idea.
No, same. Like
Oh,
now it stands out so much, but like
But it's
they
because
probably
I
knew what
think
they're
it's because
doing.
I know to look for it. Like even if I was watching now, I don't think I would. I don't think I would notice because their voices are similar. I notice because I'm looking for the differences.
yeah.
Oh, actually, Bruce Reitherman is Christopher Robin in The Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh. In Arthur was Richard Reitherman and Robert Reitherman, so the other two brothers.
So they're brothers.
Okay.
Okay.
Bruce
Wooly's
is like the
keeping it
famous
in the
one.
family.
I think Bruce, well, one of them is making a documentary about Wooly Reitherman. Actually,
That'd
I
be
heard about
interesting.
it,
Hmm.
so hopefully it gets released soon, and that'd be very cool
That
to
would be
hear about.
cool.
Is this something they're doing with Disney, or are they just making it on their own?
I don't know. I haven't heard about it in regards to Disney, so I'm guessing on their own. But I can imagine Disney would want to be part of it because there'll be a lot of copyright stuff. I imagine
Hmm.
like this film where Shere Khan is talked about, like he's brought up so many times as this menacing villain, and then he doesn't really show up until like a good like 45 minutes into the film or something.
Yeah, there was a bunch of things that, as I was watching the most recent time, was like I feel like I remember this differently when I was a kid because like it's almost like I mean it is a very abridged version of the story, so much so that it
Mhm.
hardly resembles the story, but like it just kept going from thing to thing to thing to thing, just one after the other. Like you get right into it, like at the beginning. It's basically Bagheera talking about discovering the baby, bringing him to the wolves,
The Man
and
Cub.
now they've got to bring him to the man village and like straight into the adventure.
Yeah.
It's like I felt like I thought I remembered more time with the wolves.
Mm.
I don't know. Maybe it's just my kid brain stretching out things into more than they were. But yeah, like with Shere Khan, I thought he was a bigger part of the movie, and he wasn't. I was thinking that the elephants were a bigger part of the movie, and they did have two scenes, so that does help, but they're
Yes.
short.
Oh, they're memorable.
They're short, and they never see them again after that second scene.
Yeah. Every scene, even if it is short, they are very memorable scenes. So they made the most of them.
Ka also is only 2 scenes, right?
Uh-huh. And
Yeah.
I forgot how quickly they run into Ka. Like he's
Hmm.
like the first thing that they run into when they leave. And
Yeah, because they're
because they got
taking
right
the.
into the movie, he's like one of the first scenes of the movie.
Yeah.
And then because of everything going from thing to thing to thing, it almost felt like they should have been spending more time with, especially Baloo, with how close Baloo seemed to be to him towards the end, because it felt like they hardly had any time together before he had to be shipped off to the man village.
That is true.
And this is probably neither here nor there, but the scene where, well, the bare necessities, the song, I noticed in the song lyrics, and I'm sure other people have noticed this before, but like when I was a kid, he talked about different fruits that they would eat, like the prickly pear and the pawpaw.
Yeah.
And I just assumed that those were like things you find in India. They are not. They're native to the Americas.
Oh yeah, there's nothing about this film that's India besides Shanti at the end, if we're gonna call her Shanti, and Mowgli. That's pretty much it.
That's hilarious.
And some of the names of the characters. That's about it.
Yeah, and I guess Baloo is supposed to be a sloth bear because like that's the only bear he could be, but he looks nothing like a sloth bear.
Yeah, he's just a Disney bear.
Yeah.
He's just the big Disney bear.
But in Hindi, Balu is the word for bear. So that's why.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So all these animals were named after their thing. Like Hati is the Hindi word for elephant. So that's why he's Colonel Hati.
And what about King Louie?
I think that was just Louis
Again,
Prima.
King Louie's added. Is
uh,
Bagheera? And does it have any
I don't know about that
origin?
one. I'm not sure
Bagheera,
about that one.
would he even be native?
They have Indian panthers, don't they? Let me check.
I was thinking that that was like in South America, but I could be wrong.
I know we have them here in Florida, but no, they have black panthers in. The black panther is a type of, it's a color variant of the leopard and the jaguar, and they can be found in Africa and Asia as well as Central and South America. So black
Okay.
leopards are in Africa and Asia, and black jaguars are in Central and South America.
Okay. That makes sense.
Mhm. The orangutan, that one definitely isn't. King Louis, he definitely, okay, the orangutan, that's like Indonesia and stuff like that. So that one
Uh-huh.
definitely isn't India.
Yeah.
Well, and King Louie's lair too kind of seems very
Yeah, it seems more like Southeast Asia kind of thing.
yeah, like Southeast Asia.
Well, again, King Louis was not from the book, so they just fully made up everything that happened with
Yeah,
him.
yeah, they might as well do that. They have monkeys in the book, but King Louis himself, no.
Did the monkeys kidnap him to try and get the secret of fire?
I don't think so, but I could be wrong. Don't
Yeah,
quote
you
me
wonder
on
if
that.
is that something that's in the book, you know?
I know he meets them. I forget the circumstances of how he meets them. And I feel there's something about fire in the book, but I could be 100% wrong.
I guess I'll find out eventually.
Yes, you'll read the book and let us know.
And I'll be disappointed that there's no King Louis.
There's no bare necessities in this book.
I know. I know. Ooh, I want to be like you. Ooh.
My dad loves that part of the song, and I want to be like you, where they go into like the scatting.
Oh,
That was like his
I
favorite part
love
whenever
the
he's watching it.
scatty.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's so memorable. Everything about that scene is so memorable. Like it's burned into my brain. It was like it's always been like my favorite part with Baloo putting on the coconut to make monkey lips,
Oh, my stars. He comes out. Yeah.
pretending to be, I guess, an orangutan. He
Right.
somehow fools King Louis.
And then they scat together too, whatever they're doing. Yeah.
Yes.
Abadoo-dee.
Even beyond the music, the everything about that scene is so fun. I love the animation. The animation
I
of
do.
King Louis himself, it's so good. Just the way he moves. Like you could tell that they like he doesn't move exactly like an orangutan, but he moves mostly like an orangutan with like some Disney animation flair in there. It's so good.
Yeah, I agree. I love how they make you move. And clearly they watched orangutans move, but then they just to add
Yeah.
kind of the anthropomorphic or something, element to it. It's so much fun.
I like the part where he's just like standing on his one hand and like
Yes,
using his other limbs.
Yeah.
exactly. When they're feeding, or force feeding Mowgli bananas.
Yeah.
Have a banana. Have two bananas.
And then the part where I did not notice this as a kid because I had never seen it, but the part where they're like trying to get Mowgli back and like there's the chase with between the monkeys and
Hmm.
Baloo, all that animation was recycled from the Adventures of Ichabod and Mr. Toad.
Yeah. Hmm.
Like
Yes.
specifically from the scene where they fight for the deed
Yeah.
with Winky and his minions toward the
Hmm.
end of
Yes.
Wind of the
His
Willows,
weasels, yeah.
which I had never seen that as a kid. So it was kind of like a mind blowing light bulb over the head moment when I finally watched The Adventures of Ichabod and Mr. Toad a few years ago for the podcast, and that started happening. I was like, wait a minute, I recognize this.
Recognize. I know this. That's supposed to be a bear and a monkey.
Yeah. A lot of people, for whatever reason, complain about stuff like that. I think it is so cool. I love finding
Mm.
stuff like that in these movies.
Then a lot of this animation we see in Robin Hood, like from
Yeah.
the elephants to the bear, Little John, like you said before. Like there's a
Uh-huh.
lot of this in the dancing scene.
It'll be interesting to watch. I haven't seen Robin Hood in ages, but it'll be interesting to watch that again at some point for the podcast and see what things jump out at me as things that I recognize like
Oh, I'd
that.
love to have it come on the podcast for that if you need someone.
That probably can be arranged. I think that will be one that I'll want to do with Sarah, so we'll have to like again,
Okay, yeah.
scheduling is
Yeah, that'd be great.
it's harder now that she has a job, but we can try and make it work.
Jobs, who invented them?
Yeah.
And there's the vultures, I guess we didn't talk about.
Yes. After the monkeys, Mowgli ends up running away because Bagheera
You wouldn't
basically,
marry a panther, would you?
yeah, Bagheera like tricks Baloo into telling him that he has to go back. I mean, he doesn't trick him; he like convinces him. But then he runs away and joins the Vultures, which I also love. The Vultures. I had no idea as a kid that they were based on the Beatles. It's
Yeah,
very obvious now.
Right. Exactly. We see it through our eyes, right? Yeah.
it was so cool that they were like the plan was to have the Beatles voice them, but for whatever reasons they didn't. But imagine if they had.
That
Oh
That
would
would
my
have
have
been
been
so good.
stars.
amazing.
That would have been amazing.
Yeah.
So I think the Sherman Brothers say I think the song they had written was supposed to be more like rock and rolly, but
Hmm.
then they decided to change it to be something more timeless because if it was rock and rolly, like they would date the film. So that's why they made it a barbershop quartet.
I mean, that also kind of
That's
dates
true.
it.
That's true.
Sometimes I don't know. I have mixed feelings on whether or not something should date a film because I kind of like when things are from a certain era and you can totally tell. I don't know. Maybe I have less of a problem with music. I think humor I am more annoyed by, like era specific humor, especially things that like make references to like memes and things these days. I just kind of roll my eyes when it's like this is going to date the film so bad.
You don't like the skibbity toilet jokes?
I hope they don't throw that into a Disney movie.
Oh, I know, right?
But when it's music, I don't care if it dates the movie.
No,
I
yeah,
like era specific music in movies. But the song we do get with the Vultures is great.
I always quote the scene where it's like, "So what we gonna do? I don't know. What do you want to do?"
I know. I love
Well,
Yeah.
that
Flap says,
too.
first I say, what are you gonna do? You say, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Let's do
So
something.
funny.
Okay, what do you want to do? There you go. The same notes again.
And they all have got the Beatles haircuts, and it's so great.
Those were more characters that had voices that I recognized from other Disney movies. I can't tell you right offhand which one was from which place and who did what, but they were all very recognizable as Disney voices from that era.
I know one of them was done by a guy named Ruddy Mox. No, Ruddy Mox Roxby. No, wait. Sorry, I'm getting him mixed up with someone else. But yeah, I'm not very familiar with the voices for the vultures besides in this film.
I want to say one of them also did a vulture in Robin Hood, but I'm not 100% sure on that.
No, because it was George Lindsay and Ken Curtis did Trigger and Nutsy in Robin Hood. They weren't in this
Okay.
film.
Trying to see if anybody jumps out at me, like I'm doing a quick glance over their filmography to see if anything else jumps out at me.
They don't jump out to me for any other film. Well, it looks like one of the vultures was also the English cat in the Aristocats.
I don't know if that would be the one who jumps out at me or not. I just know that they sounded like Disney voices from that era that I recognize, but maybe it's just because of this movie.
Maybe.
That does happen sometimes where I feel like I know this voice, but it's probably because it's been so long since I've seen the movie that this is why I know the voice. Okay, I figured it out. At least the one. J. Pat O'Malley was one of the vultures, and he did a ton of voices for
Yeah, he was
Disney.
Colonel Happy too.
And wasn't he in Robin Hood too?
Yeah, he was like the dog, one of the dogs.
Yeah. Okay.
The one who like who hid the coins in his cast.
Yes.
Yeah, yes. That is the voice. That is the voice that was sticking out to me as this. I know this from other
I'm way
Disney
behind in
movies.
the work, Sheriff. He did a lot of like TV work too, like a lot of sitcoms. If you watch like in the 60s and 70s and 80s, like he would be like a guest star in a lot of episodes.
Well, it seems to wasn't he also in 101 Dalmatians and the Aristocats? Or am I making that up?
He was in everything. He was in the Twilight Zone.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was 101 Dalmatians. He was Jasper and the Colonel and Mr. Simpkins and the mechanic.
Oh wow.
He was everybody. He was a prolific voice actor. He was Cyril in The Adventures of Ichabod and Mr. Toad.
Okay.
And Tweedledee and Tweedledum and Wallace and Carpenter and Alice in Wonderland.
Versatile. Wow.
Yeah. I also liked during the scene where Mowgli's with the vultures while Baloo and Bagheera are trying to recruit help to find him, and they go back to the elephants. And it kind of cracked me up because you have a bit with Colonel Hathy and his wife, Winifred, where he's not wanting to do anything, but she like threatens to take over the herd if he won't shape up and go help. And he makes some comment about he wouldn't let his herd be run by a woman. But I'm like, if this was real life, she would be leading the herd because elephants are a matriarchal society. It would be Winifred leading the herd.
What? A female leader my herd? Utterly preposterous.
It's been so long since I've seen the live action remake, but I wonder if I don't remember how much the elephants talked, but
I don't think they talked in the remake.
they should have had some line and had it be clear that Winifred was leading the herd and make it more scientifically accurate.
I don't think they were going for scientifically accurate in that. I mean, when you have Christopher Walken,
I was gonna say when you have
monkey dinosaur
whatever.
thing, or whatever.
Speaking of King Kong, I mean, what in the world?
I unironically love that scene. That's my favorite part of the whole remake. It's so weird. I love it.
It is so wacky.
It's so bizarre. It's so out of left field. It makes no sense. I love it.
Jonathan was like, "Oh, I'm so glad they made this just for you."
Yes. I mean, it's a low bar, but it is one of the better live action remakes, in my opinion.
There was some cool stuff in that, I thought. Yeah.
At some point, I'll need to do a podcast on that. But yeah, it's one of the better ones. Again, it's a low bar, but
I thought the way they integrated Mowgli into it looked really good.
yes, no, like that movie is the reason why I was looking forward to The Lion King, because Jon Favreau did both,
Yeah.
and like they were touting The Lion King as like, because The Jungle Book, yes, it's a remake of this one, but they did their own thing with it, and they went back to the book a little more. Like Mowgli stays in the jungle at the end, so I had hopes. And they basically said that this is not a shot-for-shot remake for The Lion King. So because Jon Favreau had done such a great job with The Jungle Book, I was thinking that The Lion King was going to be great too. And I sat in the theater and watched, and I was like, I feel like I'm just watching the animated version, but worse.
Oh, so bad.
That's a good description.
Great way to put it, John. Yeah.
Well, I guess getting back to the Jungle Book.
Getting back to the Jungle Book. So after the vulture scene, and like Mowgli finally meets Shere Khan for the first time, and I like there's a scene where he's standing right next to Shere Khan, and Shere Khan like he looks so massive compared to Mowgli.
Yeah, well, tigers are massive.
They
So
are.
when when they first do the confrontation between him and Shere Khan, at first I was like, this feels more silly than I remembered. Because like in my memory, I was like, this is a terrifying, violent scene. But then it actually started getting more violent than I was expecting. Like they don't show it, but Shere Khan's like, when Baloo comes in, he's like ripping at his face.
Yeah, you don't see it. It's pretty violent if you saw it from the other end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Violent.
Yeah, the first half was like, this is more silly than I remembered, and then the second half was like, this must be what I remembered.
And as luck would have it, a lightning strikes the tree right at that moment, making
Yes.
fire. Saved by
Almost a Deus Ex Machina there.
yes, I was about to say that.
Yes.
It works, though. It works for this movie.
Mm.
I didn't mind a surprise out of nowhere solving the problem.
The only thing that Shere Khan is scared of, and he runs away.
I do have to wonder, though. They act like he's gone forever, but like it starts raining at that moment. So like it's going to put the fire out, and then what's to stop him from coming back?
They're hoping he died before, like the rain hit.
Right.
Hoping that he died a horrible, painful, traumatic, violent, fiery death. Because when he first ran away, I was like, this has got to be like one of the darkest Disney deaths ever. And then it started raining. I was like, oh, so he didn't die then.
Exactly.
Not to go on a tangent. Not that we never go on tangents.
We never do that.
But in terms of like dark Disney deaths, I'm trying to think who would like the darkest would be. Like Clayton's pretty dark.
That's the first one
Clayton
that comes
is
to
dark.
mind.
Gaston's actually is
Gaston is
Yeah, that
pretty
too.
dark. But Clayton, you see him hanging there, right?
Yeah,
Scar is dark.
Gruesome.
yeah,
Yeah.
technically
Yeah.
Scar too.
Scar's that's pretty dark. I probably would say Clayton. I think
Yeah, Clayton comes to mind. Like
Yeah.
it just imagery. It just
Yeah.
sticks with you.
Anytime somebody talks about a violent Disney death, the first thing I think of is Clayton.
Clayton.
Yeah. And then there's Bambi's mom, but that's not necessarily, that's more just pure trauma.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's life at that point.
Whereas the other ones, like with Clayton, I mean, just desserts kind of in a way, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Because Tarzan tried to save him.
Yeah, he wasn't gonna kill him.
Right.
I'm trying to think, what happened to the guy at the end of Atlantis? Didn't something traumatic happen to him too?
Oh, did his thing, like his balloon explode
remember.
or something, or
Didn't he turn into something and then
I think he turned into something. I can't remember what.
didn't he get
Did he become rock or something?
did
or
he
saw?
become frozen or something?
Frozen?
Or
Yeah.
whatever.
I don't remember what it was exactly that he turned into. It's been too
Yeah,
long
there was
since I've seen
something that
Atlantis.
happened. And it was kind of grisly in a way,
Yeah, I
right?
can't remember.
It must not have been as bad as Clayton because it didn't. It I can't remember
Yeah, none of us
exactly
can
what
remember.
happened.
The three of us can't remember.
I remember that something happened. I just don't remember what.
Yeah.
Something happened. Oh well. Clayton. Prince John's like one of the few who just goes to jail.
That's right. Prince John just continues being Prince John.
Well, I guess back to the Jungle Book.
Back to the jungle. I like when Baloo's play was dead or like he's waking up from consciousness and Boogie was given like such a solemn, somber.
That's
Basically
right. When
eulogizing
you
him.
realize, yeah, he's
Yeah.
alive. That was a really clever way to stop the tears flowing. Right? It's like, oh my gosh, Blue's dead. Like, no, he's not. And it's kind of funny the way. Yeah,
I could be wrong, so take this with a grain of salt because I don't remember 100%. But I think if this is correct, I think Baloo was supposed to die, but they then changed it.
oh boy, that sure would have been a dark ending to really overall, which is a pretty comedic film, huh?
If
Again,
that was
I
the
could be
case,
wrong.
I would imagine that would have been something from the original draft that Disney nixed.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh, that is true. You could be right there. I like when he's like, "I wish my mother could hear this."
Yeah. Well, I guess it's nice to know how Bagheera really, truly feels about
Yeah.
Baloo, right?
Yeah, but it was just more of an annoyance to him than actual hate.
Yeah, yeah,
It's one of those friendships where it's like someone's always happy and the other one's just more grumpy.
yeah.
I'm just doing a cursory glance through Wikipedia, and I don't see anything about Baloo dying.
I could be totally making that up.
I would have imagined that if that was the case, it would have been in Bill Pete's proposal, but it doesn't
Mm,
have like the full this, and this. So
yeah.
it could have been something that you watched on like a behind the scenes thing. They just don't have it on Wikipedia.
What do you both think about the final segment when Mowgli goes into the man village? And we got Darlene Carr singing. We'll call her Shanti, right? Because
Yeah.
they name her Shanti in the sequel.
Mm.
I don't know. I don't know if she officially had a name,
I
in the
think she's just the
production.
girl.
The girl, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
I like it. To me it makes sense. The only thing that would get Mowgli to go into a village is gonna be a girl. I
yeah.
can't think anything else would draw him in. So it makes sense. Like he's never seen a human girl before. Like he's totally curious and like what is this? And attracted to it as well. So it makes sense. And I like the
I
song that she sings.
I did
It's
too.
a
I love the song. I
good kid
love
cool
it.
song.
I love it. I always love it because yeah, I just feel the same way. That's the only thing that would pull Mowgli away from how much he loves being in the jungle is this girl that he gets instantly entranced with.
And
It
I
just
sorry, I like when she drops the the pitcher
oh
of
yeah,
water,
they
and Baloo's like,
intentionally
she did that on
on
purpose, and
purpose.
Bagheera's like, obviously. Baloo's like, you don't want to deal with those. They're nothing but trouble.
They're nothing but trouble.
I think since I saw this as a kid, I don't mind it, and I like the song. I think if I had read the book first as a kid and then watched the movie, I would have hated it because I was very picky about like things not being
Purity,
like the book.
purism.
And like if I had known that he was supposed to stay in the jungle, then I would have been infuriated that they wrote him out of the jungle. But I hadn't read the book when I watched this movie, so I grew up with this ending and I
Yeah.
liked the song, so I don't mind it.
Hmm.
I do there was some of Bill Pete's original draft of the ending on Wikipedia. Like in his version, like he meets somebody with a gun who is killed. Shere Khan is killed with the gun. The guy gives it to him, or he gets this gun from this other human at some point and kills Shere Khan, like in Bill Pete's original draft. And then because of this, he was like a hero to both the jungle and the village, and he's declared the first human member of the Wolves Council. I think I would have liked that ending better. I don't know. Like, I like what we have. I think I probably would prefer something a little bit darker, just me now, because that's it. I like it things to be a little bit less silly. I don't know. It's one of those things where it's like you can't change the past. You don't know exactly what it would be like, but I like the idea of something a little bit darker, and then Mowgli not having to choose one or the other, and like kind of living between both worlds.
I agree. Like if we had Bill Pete's version, I think that would have been the best way to end that.
And I find the current ending, at least the ending of the film, kind of perfect. I guess it's just something that I've always loved, and it always leaves me smiling. I think a combination of the way that Mowgli goes into the man village, and then Baloo and Bagheera's reactions, and then also just what they do at the end, how they walk off on, kind of arm in arm or paw in paw, however however you want to say it, I think is just really great.
It's a weird seeing Bagheera on
I know
two
Bagheera
That's
legs.
walking
odd.
on his two legs. I know. It's just the whole thing.
I think for me, it's one thing like I realize like unconsciously is like it's like saying goodbye to Walt. That's kind of how I feel about the ending. It's like
Oh
as they
yeah.
walk in away singing this song, like they're happy and like I always looked at it like okay, like we're saying goodbye to Walt and thanks for all the good times.
Oh,
So
that's a great way to
that's
think
kind
of
of
it, Mark. Yeah, I
that's
like
kind of how I
that.
feel when I see that ending. And I love Sebastian Cabot's singing voice. Like, I wish he sang more.
Yeah. Everybody that sang in the movie did a great job.
Yeah, agreed.
But yeah, as it is now, I like the ending. It's probably not perfect, but very few movies are. I think I probably would have liked, like, it didn't have to be the exact ending from Bill Pete's, but like, even as a kid, I think I would have preferred something where he didn't have to choose one or the other. But like I said, I don't think Shere Khan's dead, so getting him out of the jungle is probably for the best.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Wait till you see the sequel.
The sequel.
I have not yet ever watched the sequel, so at
Don't worry
some
about it.
point I will.
When we did the podcast, you'll know.
Yeah, we'll be back at some point for that. And then I will finally watch it, but I have no idea what to expect. I don't know that I've heard many good things about it.
Well, it goes without saying, but I hate it. But then I hate, I hate most all the sequels. So that's just me. The cheapquels. I just, yeah.
For me, I'm the odd one out. Like this is one of the few I like, and I think I was because I watched it a lot growing up, so I might have had a bit of nostalgia to it. So I don't dislike it like some of the others. So I think it'll make a good podcast when we have to compare our views.
Okay.
Also, I haven't seen it in a long time too, so we'll see if the views are the same.
Yeah, sometimes you go back to something you liked from years ago and realize that it's not quite the same now.
Yeah, yeah, true.
Yes.
Well, that's probably all we have to say about the original Jungle Book. I think Mark and I will be back to talk about the sequel at some point, not right away. We have too many other things to work on between then and now. Give us a couple months and maybe we'll be back
Gotta
with that.
recuperate.
But we have a whole long list of things we're working on, so we'll all be back at some point for something.
Excellent.
I guess before we go, I guess the last question we have for, I guess we should answer is like, where does, how much do you love Jungle Book like compared to the rest of the Disney canon? Is it like one on your favorites, or is it near the middle? Or I think we all like it, but just how much do we all like it?
I have never put together a full ranking. At some point I should, and I probably will at some point toward like when I've finally caught up with everything. I have a feeling it will end up towards the middle because I know there are so many that I like
Yeah,
way more than this, but
Disney
there are
has a
also
great,
ones that
yeah.
I like way less than this. So I have a
Mhm.
feeling it's going to be in the middle. I don't know for sure, but I'm assuming it's going to be in the middle.
That's fair.
I have it way high for me. It's definitely in my top 10. Absolutely. I love it.
Yeah, it used to be in my top 10, but when I did my most recent ranking, which I did I think last year, it's at number 14. So it's still pretty high. But it's just not in the top 10 anymore, but it's still one I really love.
And I think it's in my top 10 too. Again, part of just, kind of our ongoing theme, the sentimentality of it. I loved it
Yeah.
so much as a child,
Hmm.
and it still brings me a lot of joy when I watch it.
I haven't seen Zootopia 2 yet, but I'll have to update my ranking once I see
Yeah,
that.
I've got to do the same too.
I really liked Zootopia too.
Oh, I did too. I loved it.
It felt like the first Disney movie in a while that was actually
Good.
genuinely good. Like so,
Yeah, agreed.
the, probably since Encanto.
Encanto,
Yeah,
right?
100%. Yeah.
Like there have been things that I have liked about most of the movies in between, but like the last couple have just been I don't know, a disappointment, I guess.
I
Yeah,
try to forget that Wish exists.
correct.
Yeah.
Don't worry, we got Frozen 3 and 4 coming up.
Whew. Yikes.
Uh,
Trying to be optimistic.
I'm sure they'll be fine. I'm sure they'll be fine, but like I'm getting tired of sequels. Even though Zootopia was amazing, like or Zootopia 2, like it was so much better than I expected. I expected it to be a money grab, but like the fact that it was an actual good movie with a good story and a good mystery and
Mm.
genuine surprises. I was
Okay.
like, this is I I haven't seen a Disney movie like this in a while.
Yeah, it was a sequel done right.
Yes.
I thought
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, definitely.
And like I have no interest so far in the next movie that they have coming up called Hexed, like about like
Hexed.
a witch or like a nephew of some witches or something. Like I don't know, it just seems so boring to me just from what we've heard. I mean, it hasn't been much, but still, it's like I'm just waiting for the one after that at this point.
Yeah, I'll be really interested to see when we actually get when they have a trailer or something for it
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm
and
trying not to
see what we
prejudge
think.
it. My main judgment of it comes from the fact that it's like, why do we need another one-word title? Can't we get past this? I want a more descriptive title.
The Great Mouse Detective. Again.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and I was thinking too, like Harry Potter. It's just like, are we kind of going to Harry Potter realm? And really, do we want that? I don't know. I don't know.
They probably want to compete with Harry Potter World
Yeah, yeah,
and Wicked and all that.
right.
Yeah. I don't know. I'll wait to pass judgment until I see a trailer. But
Yeah,
like
we'll see a
just the title,
trailer, a little more art.
the title doesn't give me a lot of hope.
Maybe they've got a cool voice cast or something
Yeah.
too. So yeah.
Yeah.
I wish Disney, well, not just Disney, but like other animation studios to like go back to making adaptations of like literature.
Me
And
too.
like that would be
I
great.
know.
Or
I do
back to
too.
fairy tales, like
I
that
do
would
too.
I
I
mean,
love that.
I like that kind of thing, having an entire
Yes.
podcast dedicated to it.
Yes, exactly, John, right?
Did someone ever tell you you should do a podcast on that?
And they don't have to make all of their movies like that, but
Yeah, but at
just like
least good chunk,
every
some
other
of them.
one,
Yeah.
do an original and then an adaptation of something.
adaptation.
An original. It's like
Yeah.
mix it up a little bit.
And it helps, it introduces kids to like literature at an early age too, which I think is
Yeah.
good.
That's
Yeah.
important.
Hmm.
Anyway, that was a tangent.
Sorry. You have a lot to cut out, John.
It'll make for a long extended version for Patreon. Anyways, until we are back for whatever thing we're doing next, do you guys want to let people know where they can find you on the internet? Stanford?
Yes. I'm the host of the Movies Past and Present podcast. You can find me at moviespastandpresent.com or anywhere you listen to podcasts.
And Mark?
Yeah, you can you could check out my stuff at the Animation Accommodation at theanimationaccommodation.com, as well as my live action Disney project at myliveactiondisneyproject.com.
Okay. Well, we will see you next season for plenty of other things that we're working on. Thanks for listening to the Disney Movie Marathon. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to subscribe and follow my co-hosts as well. My link tree and all of our links will be in the description below. If you want more of my content, all my podcasts are available on YouTube as well as most podcast platforms. If you enjoyed this show, check out one of the other podcasts or check out my Patreon for bonus and extended episodes you won't find anywhere else. We'll be back soon with another brand new episode, so thanks for listening and we'll see you next time.